Good morning, beautiful people. Welcome to day 20. So today's practice is all about, it's a nice strong kind of a flow. So you're really working through the legs, really stretching through those arms. So you're turning the arms, you're working through the legs, and everything that stretches out from the center is a core workout. So what we have to remember in yoga is that we go outside when we're extending ourselves, but you also need to come back in. So I highly recommend that after this practice today that you sit and do some meditation for about 10 minutes and then go for a walk and get out in the fresh air. Lots of love. Zephyr Rose. My goodness, the birds are so raucous this morning, so let's do a voiceover instead. So standing at the fronts of your mats, separating the toes, inhaling and exhaling, stretching the fingertips all the way down as you bring your shoulder blades toward each other and down your back. Feeling yourself grounded through the feet as you lift up both your arms, inhaling in that beautiful fresh air from the sunshine and exhaling, bring the fingertips down to the floor. That's it. Fingertips in alignment with the toes, and then inhaling into your flat back. So your hands can be anywhere, just not on your knees. I like to have my thumbs on the insides of the shins so that I can open up through the upper back. And as you exhale, returning the fingers to the floor and stepping your right foot back, coming into a low lunge, knee on the floor, and unfold the toes behind you, shining your heart light forward. And as you exhale, pressing through the hands into your first downward dog. Wonderful. Let's walk through that dog. So bending and straightening one knee and then the other. Really feeling that stretch through the hamstrings, through the ankles. Keep pressing back through the hands, opening through the upper back, pulling in the lower belly. Sit bones all the way up to the sky. Looking forward as you come down into the Bhujangasana or the Cobra. Let's inhale to come into an upward cobra. So coming from, actually that was the 8-point staff pose. So coming into a low cobra. Just looking straight ahead, lifting up the sternum, continuing to lift the chest. And then as you exhale, returning back to the downward dog. This time just really try to press your heels down to the mat, getting your heels down as much as you can and really stretching through. Inhaling, bring the right foot forward into a high lunge this time. Now if you like, you can bring both hands to the knees and you can stay here. So we're coming into a crescent lunge. It's really pressing through those hands. And as you inhale, lifting the arms up. So palms are parallel, pinky fingers coming toward the face, thumbs away. And really opening up your heart, raising all the way up, accepting all the fresh air, love and sunshine from the universe. As you exhale, swan diving down, fingertips back to the mat and bringing your right foot to meet the left, hanging down in Uttanasana. Now you can cross your arms here if you like and gently sway from side to side. Wonderful feeling. Oh, it's so wonderful for the lumbar spine. And then you can press your hands on the tops of the hips and come up straight-legged if you wish. Otherwise, let's just curl up. So knees are bent and curling up through the spine very slowly, one vertebrae stacking on top of the other, and the head comes last. Wonderful. Okay, hands to chest, inhale. And continue to inhale, raising the arms above the head, stretching them all the way back. And as you exhale, swan diving down, fingers, tips in alignment with the toes, inhaling to your flat back. As you exhale, releasing the left leg to the floor, left knee to the floor. So if you prefer, you can bring it up if you want a little bit harder. It's really shining that heart forward. And just feeling that stretch through the groin there. Inhaling, and as you exhale, press back into the downward dog. Really bring those heels down and walking through the dog again. Such a joy. The dog loves a walk, and so do we. Walking, walking, walking. Looking forward as you bring your left foot forward between the hands and coming up into your half lunge again. The back leg is straight. And inhaling, raising both arms up, welcoming the new day, the sunshine. The heart is open. Fingers stretching as far as they can. Stretch them up, 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 up. And as you exhale, swan diving those arms down to frame your foot and pressing back into the dog again. Now bending the knees, looking between the hands and jump like a frog. That's it. Hanging down in your Uttanasana. So holding the elbows, swaying from side to side. Just feeling that lumbar spine expanding, extending. Try and keep your hips over your knees and your ankles so that you're all in a straight line. Generally speaking, come a bit forward onto the toes to get that line. And your option of how you come up, so just gently uncurling as we are today. Head comes last. All right, and fingertips straight down by the sides. Wonderful work. Inhale, raising the arms all the way up, all the way back. A nice gentle curve, just like a banana. And exhale, fingertips back to the floor to frame the feet. Inhale to rise to your flat back, and then exhaling, bringing back the right leg into a high lunge. And then turning that back leg so that the foot is at 45 degrees, straightening up the right. And by pressing the thumb against the shin, you can open up now, like into the Trikonasana. So pull the right hip back and stretching, that's the left hip, and stretching up the left arm. Or is that the right arm? Keep stretching up. Your arms are in alignment with each other. Keep pressing that thumb against the shin bone. Keep bringing your the buttock at the back forward and the hip at the front back. Imagine you're like a slice of toast in a toaster and you don't want to twist or you'll burn. So really extending here. This is wonderful for the whole body, to energize and innervate the whole body. Bring that top hand back to your hip, looking down at the toe in front of you, bending that knee, coming back into your high lunge. Just hands on the knee to start just to get the positioning. And inhale, arms up. Remember the back leg, the inner thigh comes up, outer thigh comes down. Swan diving those fingers back down to frame the feet, back into your Uttanasana or your forward fold. So choosing your option here, you might like to grab the ankles with the elbows coming out, or you could put your fingers under the heels or under the fronts of the feet. So whatever here brings your head a little closer or gets a little deeper now that we've warmed up. Keep bringing your weight a little forward onto your toes. And then pressing your hands onto the backs of the hips, the heels of the hands, elbows together as you come up to rise, standing with coming up with your legs straight if you can. Inhale and exhale, palms to the chest. Inhale, opening up, feeling your heart expand, accepting the energy, and exhale, bringing it all the way down to Mother Earth. Inhaling to your flat back. And this time your left leg comes back. Getting that foot at that 60-degree angle, straightening up the right leg. And I usually like to grab the back of my front thigh to just get my body straight, and then lifting up the arm. Now, if you're having trouble with the arm that's on the ground, so that's the right arm, then just place it on a block or place it higher up on your leg. So there's no need to grab your ankle. What's important is to keep the alignment of your spine, really bringing that left hip back and the right hip forward, right buttock forward. So how low you go doesn't matter, it's about the form. You should feel a lightness, like a sweet spot when you've got it right. Keep breathing, keep stretching, enjoy. Inhaling. As you exhale, bring that hand back to frame the foot. As we exhale and inhaling, bring yourself back up to a lunge, supporting yourself on your knees and inhaling the arms all the way up. Accepting the energy, the love and the support from the universe, and exhale as you bring your fingertips to frame the feet, coming down into your version of Uttanasana and pressing the hands through the hips, elbows toward each other to rise. If you prefer, just come up with bent knees and uncurl as we did earlier on. Okay, now let's come to the center of the mat, fingertips together, inhale, and as you exhale, jump your arms apart. That's it. Outsides the feet are parallel with the mat. Just drop your fingers down and see that your fingertips are in alignment with the outsides of your feet. That's it, perfect width. I'm going to do a couple of more advanced poses, so if this is a bit too much, then just go back to some of the easier stuff we've done before. But I just want to throw in something a little bit challenging today, just for fun. So let's inhale, and as we exhale, we're bending the front leg. So that's the right leg in this case. You may need to shift the back leg back a little. You want to try and have a right angle as much as you can. And make sure that you keep your torso up nice and straight. We have a tendency to come over that bent knee, but imagine someone is grabbing the opposite arm, that's the left arm, and pulling you back. Keep your spine straight here. And looking over the center finger and out into the distance. Imagine two cables attached to the middle fingers of both arms, pulling you apart. You are the warrior, strong, stable, secure, alive, filled with energy. Valor and victory is yours. Inhaling, and as you exhale, coming into the peaceful warrior, so the left hand comes onto the side of the leg wherever it gets, and the right arm is overhead. Try and keep the arm straight and rotating the pinky finger toward the face, and feel that elongation along the right flank. And then exhaling, coming back to straight legs. And let's turn the other way. So this time the left foot is forward and the right toes come in. Inhale and exhaling into your warrior 2, Virabhadrasana 2. The warrior posture, looking over your left middle finger out into the distance. And remember to keep coming like your left hand, someone is pulling it forward so that you keep your spine straight. Both arms are in alignment. Imagine those steel cables pulling the arms apart. And keep bringing that left knee towards your left side. We have a tendency to drop it forward, so keep it coming out. Inhale, and as you exhale, coming into your peaceful warrior. Right arm, right hand is on the thigh or the side of the leg. As the left arm comes over top, palm is toward the face. Remember to keep that front leg nice and bent. Keep looking past the tricep toward the sky, opening up the flank. Keep bringing that left shoulder back. A lot of space between the ears, and then straightening up the arms, straightening up the legs. Beautiful. Palms, hands on the hips. Let's grab those 2 blocks and place them in front of us. So for some people they won't need it and some they will. So there's 3 different levels with the blocks, so it all depends on your body. Now I like to have my palm on the corner of the block. Let's have it all on the highest block together. So I place both hands on the block and I have that corner into my palm, and I press the block down and I really work on elongating the spine. The neck is in alignment with the spine, and I keep sinking through that upper back and broadening there. So there's no arch there, it's more concave. So like a dip through the dorsal spine. Imagine the dorsal spine coming into the body. Then you can change the height of the blocks and bring your hands all the way down. See how you go. So depending on if you've been sitting a lot, then you will feel this very strongly through the lumbar spine. Now let's grab the opposite ankle with the opposite arm and lifting the other arm up to the sky to get a rotation through the thoracic. Remember not to twist the hips, you're just twisting the thoracic spine. So that's like from the tailbone up to the neck, that's rotating, but the hips stay still. The hips don't lie. Really bringing that dorsal spine in, so the back spine, bring it into the body. Keep pulling in through the lower belly. Breathe. And let's change to the other side. Now the more that you can grab that opposite ankle, the easier it gets, because then you can really grab it and drag it. Okay, so remember the hips don't move. So turning the torso first, you can use your hand on your buttock for that, and then lifting up the arm up to the sky. So trying to have that arm up nice and straight and really bringing that top shoulder back. Remember always to have space from the ears to the shoulders. Feels so good, doesn't it? This is one of the most wonderful postures you can do, especially if you're sitting too much, with a lot of us are now with the nature of how work has changed. So this will really help with any sort of aches and pains that you might get at the top of the hips. Hands back down. Hands on the tops of the backs of the hips to bring yourself up. If you prefer, you can bend your knees. Let's heel and toe in. All the way back to Tadasana. Awesome. Let's just walk through those feet, roll those shoulders back. We've done so much wonderful work. Let's just feel good here. Just walking those legs, going through those shoulders. Now let's roll through the ball of the feet, rotating the leg one way and then the other, and the tops of the toes as well, both legs. So just doing some nice ankle rotations here and really working through the toes. Wonderful. Let's come back to the front of the mat now. Bringing that tailbone down as you inhale to rise, opening up and exhaling, swan diving down again. Fingers to frame the feet, lifting to your half and then the right foot back. Now we're going to do a couple of interesting tricky poses here, so if you prefer just stay here in the Trikonasana, but otherwise from here we're going to be coming into the Ardha Chandrasana. So to do that, we look at our front foot and then lift up the back. Now I've got a wall there behind me, or a post, so it's really good to practice this with a post. And when you feel you've got the balance, then you're pressing through the hand that's on the floor, bringing the other hand onto the hip to open up. So you get a nice straight spine, and then lifting the hand all the way up to the sky. So this is Ardha Chandrasana, or the half moon posture. So if you're having a little bit of challenge with this one, that's not unexpected, and you can always just stop the recording and just try it and then come back to the recording again, or just stay in your Trikonasana a little bit longer or add in another lunge. So this one is wonderful for for women's conditions. It's actually recommended for pregnant ladies, menopause and menstruation. So there you go. And for men also, don't worry, it's all good. Okay, so we're going to come to the other side now. So opening up into the Trikonasana again. So remember to really get that spine nice and straight, the top hip back and the bottom buttock forward, stretching through those fingertips. So the most wonderful Trikonasana is so empowering and energizing. It's one we should do every day. Okay, looking at that front foot, bending the knee a little, getting your distance right. So I've just had to move there a bit. And then coming back into your Ardha Chandrasana. So opening up. So I get my alignment first with a hand on the hip and then stretch the arm up. So depending on your thoracic spine, you may find that one side is different to another. So if your middle back is a little bit tight, one side might be a bit easier. So this side is a little bit more of a challenge for me. And opening right up. So pressing through the hand that's on the floor, and you can put a block under that hand. It's a really good idea to start. It actually took me a few years to be able to get my fingertips to the floor like that. Yeah. So the half moon pose, Ardha Chandrasana, stretching all the way up with those fingers. And like I say, a block is nice under that bottom leg. Let's bring ourselves back down. So coming down gently. Let's do a nice bending of the knees, putting the hands wherever you like and coming into your version of your Uttanasana, so the forward fold. Now you don't have to get your head on your knees. What's important is that you feel something. So do what feels good for you. If you want your hands under your feet, go ahead. If you want to grab your ankles, go ahead. But in this case, let's just fold the arms, ears between the arms, and we inhale and rise, keeping the arms folded. So this is a little bit more complicated. You want to make sure that your lower back is feeling nice and strong. And then we exhale, palms all the way down to the sides. Beautiful work, everybody. Okay, so we're coming back to the front of the mat, standing in Tadasana, tailbone down, lower belly in, inhaling, palms up, palms parallel to each other, and exhaling as we bring the fingertips down to the floor. Inhaling into your version of your half back, so it could be different than it was before, and coming into a lunge again. So your right leg is back, getting nice and strong. The straighter you can have your back leg, the easier it gets. And then inhaling and exhaling into your Virabhadrasana 2 or your and then into your Trikonasana. So going from Warrior 2 into Trikonasana, straightening the front leg. Now looking at your front toe, bending that front leg, and then hopping the back leg forward as you bring the hand in front of the foot and lift up into the Ardha Chandrasana or the half moon. Now this is quite a tricky balance, so you may like to move back to the wall, but it's fun to give it a go. And if you fall over, it really doesn't matter. There's nothing, no uncool here. Back to the Trikonasana. So traditionally that's what we do with the Ardha Chandrasana without the wall. Hands on the hips, inhale and exhale as you fold forward into a flat back, and then hands down to the floor. Use blocks if you need to. Head on the floor. Keep the fingertips in alignment with the toes, elbows bent, and then straightening up into like a flat back, just like you do with your legs together. Heel and toe those feet together a little and jump them together. coming into your version of Uttanasana. Hands on the backs of the hips and coming up, straight leg. Don't forget you can use the easier version if you wish. Inhale, hands together. Exhale, jumping the feet apart. Looking over the right arm this time and coming to the front of the mat. Beautiful. Let's inhale, arms all the way up, opening up. See that sunshine pouring down? Exhaling, fingertips to the floor. Your version of half, lengthening the spine, and then bringing the other leg back this time. Inhaling into a lunge, raising the arms up to the sky, and then coming into your warrior two, looking over that front arm, strong, powerful, connected, collected, loving myself every minute. Straightening the front leg, bringing in the back leg just a little as you come into your Trikonasana. The Trikonasana, you always have the legs a little bit closer together than you do with the warrior. Keeping that neck in alignment with the spine, arms one straight line, and then I just moved to get away from the pillar so I wouldn't hit it. Looking at that front toe, bending the front leg, bringing the back leg in a bit, hand on the hip, and then jumping that back leg up. So because the pole was there, I got a little bit lazy, so I'm just practicing using the wall. So I'm showing you another way you can practice where you can use your hand on the wall or a pillar rather than the foot, and you stretch the other arm up and then come back through your Trikonasana. Whoop. And that's it. Stretching the arm up. And coming back to the center. So remember, do this very gently. Always be kind and loving to yourself, bending all the way down to whatever is comfortable for you. And pressing up to stand. Wonderful work, everyone. Oh, you've done such a great job. That was really quite tough today. So let's stand with our palms at our hearts, thanking ourselves, thanking the universe. Okay, thanks very much for sharing this practice with me today. That's all we have time for. So time flies and you're having fun. That went so fast. I tell you what, I just jumped on the mat and whoop, there's half an hour. So please make sure that you like and subscribe. It really helps me, encourages me a lot to provide free material for people so that we can create a morning routine, and it just makes such a difference to our day, really lightens and brightens the day and gets us out there. So have a wonderful day, and I look forward to seeing you again. We'll be doing a practice day after tomorrow. Tomorrow is all about, is going to be meditation and breath work. Okay, signing off.